This is the least known version of CDI. You can see how large it is compared to the other items. You can see how high. A very wide system, you can see right there. That's, in television is a very large system and looks very small next to this one. Here's the Atari XE. Right there. Here's the equivalent to the Atari Stuntcycle, only this is the Sports Center 4 from Telegames. It does look a little different than the Stuntcycle. Pretty cool looking system. But you can see how narrow it is from this angle. Here's the Bally's arcade without the case. Cartridges were really neat looking. They looked like audio cassettes a little bit, only hard shelled, very hard shelled. However, it was not easy to use. Okay, so here's the Magnavox Odyssey 3000. This came after all the Odysseys that looked exactly alike. Here's the Super 8. That's the Super Nintendo, and the Super 8 plays both NES and Super NES games. Plus, it also plays foreign games as well. There's the Super Nintendo without the shell. There's the Super Famicom. That's the famous Japanese version. That's the Super 8 without the system. This is a top-loading Nintendo right there. You see I've modified it to fit the cheat device. See, they made this so that it wouldn't work with the Game Genie and it wouldn't work with the Action Replay. I believe they did that on purpose because they were unlicensed, but I got it to work again. Okay, I have to get out of the sun here. Okay, now here's the top load. Here's the Super 8 system right there. There's the Super Famicom. They're telling you to use that with the Super Famicom make only because the cartridges for Super Nintendo are a little different, for those who didn't know. I think the Super Nintendo design was better personally, but the Super Famicom became the stuff of legend because it had a lot of games that were not released in the US, but these were not second-rate games. These were top quality, if not some of the best games. So figure that out. Now back to the Odyssey 3000. There was the Odyssey 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and 2000 that all looked almost exactly alike. So after them, they finally did something that looked different. So this is the Odyssey 3000. Nice design. Still just a Pong system. Here's in television. This is the original unit. It was this beautiful gold system. Obviously, these came out. These joypads, though, were not easy to use. They were not easy to use. There's the cartridge port. Just the design was very beautiful, though. They did a good job on that. Okay, here's Socrates from VTech. VTech, very popular makers of children's computers. And this is one of their best efforts here. I've shown in another video, this is the keyboard, retractable. I meant to say removable. There's the color game system. Very nice design. If I'm not mistaken, this is Australian. This is a Pong system, PAL system. This is the Atari 5200, this monstrous system. This is how it looks from the side. You can't get an idea of how this looks until you see it next to, that's the 7800. I mean, look at the enormous difference in size. Look at that. So the 5200 sold based on the idea that being so large it was going to be very technical. It was really just a little bit more than Atari 2600 though. I mean, it did produce improvements, but nothing new. I believe the system, I opened one up. This comes off here. You can put joypads. I opened this up and this was a lot more simple on the inside than it looked. So having the big shell like that was a deliberate act. Here's the Arcadia 2001. This is literally one of the most popular designs ever. People loved the Arcadia 2001 as far as its physical aesthetic appeal here. And here's the APF MP1000 right there. This is a cartridge-based system. APF made a lot of Pong systems, but this was cartridge-based. I know that tape doesn't look pretty, but I try to keep my stuff in mint condition. Okay. Here's the Sega Mark III, brand new. That was basically the Sega Master System. You can even see the card area. There's the Interton Electronic VC4000. That was a pretty popular system. There's the TurboGrafx 16. Went head to head against Sega. And the sales, 80% chose Sega at first, even though I personally preferred Turbo. Here's the Rotron system. And then here's a dummy NES. Here's the Rotron system. Sayonara.